Hello, Sof. Hello, everybody.
Rafael, as the curator of today's conference, what made you create this event and what are hypernatural forces to you?
Well, hypernatural forces, first, I would say, are an open concept. That means you can attach many different contexts, observations, and also experiences to it. And at its heart lies the observation that nature, as we experience it and as we imagine it, is really changing right now. And the digital and digital technologies have a huge impact in this change. So, for instance, we wouldn't know a lot about the human-made climate change without big data and climate models. So only the digital allows us to get a deeper understanding of nature. And at the same time, digital technologies are also very much complicit in a lot of ecological destruction. And this tension, I think, is really embedded and really interests us in the term hypernatural forces.
And do you think we have to rethink the concept of nature that we have as a species?
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. I think all of us very intuitively understand today that nature is changing, so there's nothing eternal about nature anymore. Maybe there was never something eternal about it, although we thought, okay, nature is something eternal. But I think today we understand it when we see how the weather is changing, but also when we experience other kinds of intelligences, like having an encounter with a robotic dog or a chatbot that seems somehow intelligent and alive. And these experiences do not only change us, but also our idea and relationship to nature.
And where do you think we can experience hypernatural forces nowadays?
Well, I think here at the New Now Festival, we really want to focus it. But I think it's something that really permeates into our everyday lives. I don't know, for myself, I always feel like the way that I pay attention to things has changed in a very hypernatural way or in hypernatural ways in the last 10 years. And I think this is something for people spending a lot of time online that they can observe about themselves as well. Yes.
And how do you think digital technologies change our relationship to nature exactly?
I think this happens in manifold ways. If you look at the exhibition here at New Now, you see a lot of like speculative, genetically modified beings. You see speculative evolutions, and you see how these different like scientific and digital processes really inscribe themselves on the materiality of our surroundings. So how our environments look like, how we look like. This very stage was not the idea of a human being. It was generated by an artificial intelligence, more concretely DALL-E, which we prompted with certain images and ideas that we as curators had on our minds. But then this very environment we're standing in is a merger of human and machine intelligence.
How does that feel to you?
It feels good, actually. I mean, I can understand a lot of the anxieties that come with hypernatural forces, but I also feel a certain euphoria when connecting with these kinds of intelligences.
I feel the same. I'm so excited for today. Could you tell us a little bit about what we can expect today?
Yes. So our day today falls into 4 phases. And the first phase, which is about to start right now, is called Welcome to Hypernature. And it will feature different artists and researchers who are interested in exploring hypernatural forces. And it will be a little bit of a reflection of where we are right now. So where can we experience hypernatural forces and hypernature right now in our lives and reflected in the practice of digital artists. Then the second phase, which starts this afternoon, will be a symposium by the KWI Essen, which was organized by Katrin Jakavone and Anja Schürmann. And this really is like a deep dive into academic and scientific positions on the digital and on hypernatural forces. After that, after this deep dive into the world of academia and the sciences, in the late afternoon and evening, we will have a series of keynotes that explore the politics of hypernature. There will be Geert Lovink, Rafael Rosendahl, and Pina Yoldasz, who will give very specific impulses on their position on hypernatural forces and the politics that are involved in them. And then, for the last phase, which starts into the night, we'll dive into the night with different performances exploring hypernatural scenes, hypernatural environments, hypernatural sounds, and images. So the entire day will be dedicated to discussing hypernature, but also to experiencing it. Yes.
Wow. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And thank you all for being with us today, for sharing your attention, and I wish you a hypernatural day.